Drew McIntyre should have been champion from this Mania to next Mania. Bottom line. I'm Charles Rentham with my review of WWE Raw. It's Go Home Raw for Survivor Series, and this, outside of 2 matches, it wasn't a very good show. Randy Orton did not need a 14th title win. He didn't. He didn't fucking need it. Is he really going to beat Ric Flair's record? He would have to get to 20 or 22 title reigns because that's the unofficial number, though WWE will not recognize it. Survivor Series has not been built all that well. Not at all. It's actually been rather fucking shit. They reshuffled a few things around with the Raw women's team, which wasn't all that great anyway, and since the second brand split, it's been hit and miss how they built them. How they built, like, the teams, the champion versus champion matches. It's just, I just don't think that they care enough about it, which is weird because Survivor Series as a pay-per-view concept has been around since 1987. And I just don't fucking understand what they're doing. Now, that being said, there were 2 good matches on the show, but I just didn't fucking care about most of it. I hate the theme. Fucking hate it. We open with Drew talking about wanting to beat Randy Orton and humble Roman Reigns at Survivor Series, and just take the same stuff with Drew, Orton, Miz, and Morrison from last week and just replace a little bit of verbiage, and it's the same thing. It's the same opening. Randy talks about, being fine for grabbing Adam Pearce and spending more time at home suspended than most people have spent in the ring. Yeah, Randy, that's your goddamn fault. Calls himself the greatest wrestler ever. Not even goddamn close. Drew is happy that they get to finish each other off and finish each other's sentences. Miz and Morrison say the word correct a lot. They talk about the Fiend, and the spoopy Fiend will appear later, and cash-in is teased. And then Shayna, Nia, and Lana are backstage. The Team Raw dissension continues. Let me say this much about, well, you can't call her Nia Vax. If you're going to be an anti-vaxxer, you're a fucking idiot. You're putting your colleagues at risk. But Nia's known for doing that because she's a careless twat that apparently wants to put her faith in God. She trusts her immune system and she trusts that God will protect her. Well, God didn't protect you from your ACLs goddamn exploding, did he? You stupid dumb bitch. You fucking idiot. You fucking worthless human being. And yeah, I'm going to fucking call her that because there's trusting your body and then there's doing this stuff. If vaccines didn't exist, we'd have a lot more diseases. So maybe Nia, swallow your goddamn pride. Quit listening to, clearly, Drake, the stupid orange referee from NXT. Quit listening to him and idiots like him, fucking morons. Having different beliefs is one thing. That's a dangerous way of thinking how he thinks. And if you know, you fucking know. I'm just saying, right? Nia is a fucking idiot for being anti-vax or whatever. So yeah, sorry Nia, but you know what? Any sympathy I had for you pretty much fucking evaporated. I don't wish anything bad to happen to her. I do not. Or anybody in the company. But if you're going to put yourself at risk like this, then you know what? You reap what you sow. That's what it comes down to. But yeah, Nia, you fucking idiot. Careless twat. Anyway, Lana says she's going to prove her worth. You do that, Lana. You do that. Then we get a 6-woman tag. Asuka, Mandy, and Dana versus Shayna, Nia, and the anti-vaxxer, and Lana. And 3 blondes sponsored by Head and Shoulders. Well, that was maybe not the intention, but that's, the sponsor for this match. Shayna was, of course, breaking the arms of anybody that did not vote for the third party, and then Asuka scissors Lana to win. Then we get table bump number 9. Whatever. And then we get Team Raw back there with AJ and his help. We're getting close to 12 years in AJ, and the nickname community, because Riddle keeps coming up with nicknames, because Riddle is trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen. And AJ says, well, you don't even speak English. And the guy's like, yeah, I do. I think it's Jordan. It's like, it's like, you never told me. You never asked. Typical, like, just, usual cliched stuff. And then Mia Yim, I refuse to call her the stupid Retribution name, the group that calls themselves Retribution. She attacks Dana backstage while Dana is talking to Charlie because Charlie's trying to get an update about Mandy, because Mandy and Dana are then thus taken off of the team. The, team that had horrible dissension. Then we get Funhouse with Alexa. Bray is challenging Miz. He spells jackass M-I-Z. I'm over this Funhouse stuff. Alexa and Bray seem to be having fun with it. Great. I don't care. They do, training with strength, words, and then the rabbit gets darts through his heart. Hooray! It was funny, maybe the first time. It's not funny anymore. It's just Bray in a spoopy mask. That's it. It's still Bray Wyatt under that mask. Now, that being said, he's dedicated to this. Alexa's dedicated to this. If people like it, that's fine. I don't mind different, but I'm over this shit. Okay, so the Hurt Business are in the ring. After MVP talks, Shelton talks. There is a reason why Shelton did not cut promos that often. And then New Day's out there, and through this long-winded promo that just went nowhere, they called him the Jerk Business, the Jerk Chicken Business. I imagine. I mean, that's the only explanation it come up with. So anyway, they announced that Mandy and Dana are out for Survivor Series. The replacements will be announced later. There are literally 2 other people it could be. I wonder who it could be. Hurt Business, Shelton and Cedric versus New Day, Kofi and Xavier. Raw Tag Team Championship match. Go out of your way to watch this. This one is really goddamn good. I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but well-paced, a couple breaks, great stuff. All 4 of these guys are really high-caliber athletes. Cedric, despite the fact he's a heel, he still doesn't quite know how to wrestle as a heel. He's like still doing the high-flying stuff, but if you do it, with a certain flair to it, you can still be a good heel. But you know what? Cedric's a great performer. He's a great athlete. And all 4 of these guys worked really goddamn hard. New Day does retain eventually, but this was a very good match. It's one of the better TV matches. Actually, I'd say best TV matches they've had all year. I'd put it on my favorite matches of the year list. The problem is, I don't really care about the Hurt Business. I mean, the Hurt Business is good. I didn't care about this feud. I just didn't. Then Sheamus and Drew. So Sheamus is like, hey, I brought something here. It's a treasure chest. It was seemingly dug up from Davy Jones's locker, and he opens it, and there's this kilt and this other stuff. And then Sheamus presents a sword to him. So, cool. Drew's going to be the Berserker, the Drewzerker, if you will. So, he presents his sword, his lengthy sword, right in his hands. And then we get the group that calls themselves Retribution versus Team Raw while Styles is on commentary. Hey, you know what match I didn't care about? This one! Because I don't care about Retribution. I don't mind the talent. I just don't care about Retribution. The gimmick is ass. Not the talent. I mean, Shane Thorne is also there. But you have Mustafa Ali. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I do apologize if I'm not. You have, Dio Madden. And you have, Dominic Dijakovic. I'm calling them by that because I'm not calling them by their stupid names. Because their names are stupid. They're fucking stupid. Dissension among Team Raw, and then dreaded roll-up for the win, but actually it's a pretty creative roll-up that Ali did to pin Riddle. At least Riddle, the idiot, the fucking moron, took the pin. And then Nikki says she will get Alexa back at any cost, while Sarah fucking Christ in that black leather. That was a good look for her. Jeff then is ripping down posters, and Sarah sees this, and it's 555 amen because Elias got run over and he blames Jeff, and then he says he will give him his answers. Elias wants answers, and they get into a bit of a scuffle. We're going to get a parking lot brawl out of this, aren't we? And then we have Miz and Bray and Morrison and Miz's Corner in the ring, and then Alexa shows up. Well, actually, Alexa shows up a bit before. And Miz and Morrison are already there, and then, oh no, we get spoopy Alexa, because we're supposed to be scared of somebody that's 5 feet and 100 pounds. But anyway, Nikki's there, and suddenly she's like, you got to choose between me and him, saying the same thing she did last week. And Alexa's like, okay, and then she starts slapping her, and they start brutally fisting each other while Bray watches. And Bray looks really, really upset at Nikki. What are you doing, Nikki? Don't you touch my little midget girl. I don't know what that voice was. I apologize. But yeah, this match, didn't care one bit. Bray eventually just was snapping a bit because, he was the Funhouse Bray Wyatt, but Morrison tried talking to Alexa, and so did Miz, and said don't talk to her. And Alexa jumps on Morrison like a freaking, little chihuahua, which is kind of funny. And then Sister Abigail, 1, 2, 3. If I cared about the Bray Wyatt character anymore, I would have cared about this match. And then we get a Drew Orton package. Lacey and Peyton, they're going to call him Leighton at one point. They replaced Mandy and Dana. Cool. The 2 people we knew. Drew, by the way, was displaying his lengthy claymore for everyone to see, and then gets all the goddamn pyro, inserting it into the stage. There's a few phallic references in my reviews if you haven't noticed. And then Orton's entrance took about 4 weeks to complete. Drew versus Orton. Pierce stops Orton from trying to leave and get counted out. Says, well, it'll be no DQ, no count out. And that, Randy, is official. Officially undisputed? No. Here's a question, though. They made it no DQ. Why didn't Drew just use the sword? I'm not saying like the Berserker almost stabbing the Undertaker, but why didn't he use the sword? He kept missing the Claymore. I am the table, but that was the idea. He kept missing the Claymore, and as long as Orton avoided that, he was okay. Orton went through a table. Ah, fuck, he actually yelled at. They had to censor it. And then eventually, good match. It was a good match. I didn't care about this feud, though. I don't want to see this feud continue. And Orton, finally gets it in the face from Drew. New champion. Orton, for some reason, spanks Drew at one point. I don't really understand what that was about. Go back and watch the match. Near the end, you'll see what I mean. But new champion, Drew, who should have never lost a championship. So that's really all I got to say about that. My predictions for Survivor Series will probably be up rather after SmackDown. Or maybe included. I may just include them there because I really don't give a shit about any of this show. So anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retland. I'll see you soon.